David was honing his skill behind closed doors when nobody saw. So what are you doing behind closed doors? Are you honing your skill? Are you reading? Are you looking at seminars? What are you doing? Are you honing or are you binge watching Netflix? How bad do you want your vision to be realized will determine your action in that particular area. Well, hello there, everybody. Man, it seems like a long time I haven't been here speaking to you guys. I've been absent without leave in the last few weeks, last couple of weeks or so. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to sharing what's on my heart today with you guys. So, you know, physically demanding sports usually have substitutes, you know, so when the players get tired, or the A team, so to speak, people from the A team, they get tired or injured, the substitutes can step in. And the substitute needs to be just as fit and skillful as the A team, really. They need to be at their best as well. Case in point, 1999. Permit me for a little while to speak a bit of football, all right? For those of you who are not sport inclined, bear with me for a second. So 1999 Champions League final, Manchester United versus Bayern Munich, and you know the scene is already set. This is the biggest club competition in the world, and it's what, a 90-minute game, and in the 67th and the 81st minute, two substitutes come on. Teddy Sheringham and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, which is ironically the current Manchester United manager. Anyways, they came on. 1-0 down Manchester United is to Bayern Munich, and these substitutes come on, and the first one scored in the 81st minute, I think, and then in the 90th minute or so, here comes Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to score in the last minute and win the game for Manchester United. Now you can probably tell I'm a Manchester United fan, right? Don't hate. But the place erupted, the crowd went wild because the substitute was prepared, he was fit, and he was able to score this winning goal in the final of the Champions League. That brings me to my message. Are you ready to take your opportunity when it comes as these substitutes? Are you ready? Are you prepared? Are you living in a prepared state? Are you ready for when your suddenly moment comes? Because things change dramatically and drastically, usually suddenly, in a moment, in a split second, things usually change. So we got to be ready. So let's take Joseph, for example. In Genesis chapter 40, we see Joseph's suddenly moment. As you know, he had a dream that one day his whole family will bow down to him. You know what happened next. He was sold into slavery, imprisoned for a crime he didn't commit. And while in prison, that's when his suddenly moment occurred. That's when he interpreted a dream for the prisoner, which gained him favor with the king, the Pharaoh at the time. He then proceeded to interpret the Pharaoh's dream, which then catapulted him into now superstardom. It sent him into power. The second man after Pharaoh in power, all because he was ready. He was prepared, even though he was in prison. Even though the situation of his life was a bit upside down. Joseph seized his opportunity when it presented itself. He was ready. So my question to you is, are you ready for when your suddenly moment comes, because it comes suddenly. Are you preparing for your dream? Are you preparing for your vision? Do you have a plan? And if so, are you putting that plan into practice? Because a plan that's not implemented is like a seed that's not planted. Your dream and your aspirations, I don't know, maybe it may to own a business. So what are you doing about it? Are you making the necessary steps to ready yourself for when that business opportunity comes? Are you ready? Take King David. He was anointed to be king of Israel, as you know. Yeah, to lead God's people. But he didn't just get there. He didn't just wake up one morning and arrive. David was living in a prepared state. He was leading sheep and fighting off the predators that came to devour the sheep. So when Goliath eventually came along years after, David was ready to come against this predator that is now coming to devour God's people. He seized his moment. He said to the king, King Saul at the time, he said, "King, I lead sheep, but the sheep are always under attack. Once a lion and a bear came to destroy them, and I had to kill both lion and the bear to protect my flock." So this Goliath, you see today, will be like one of those predators. David was honing his skill behind closed doors when nobody saw. So what are you doing behind closed doors? Are you honing your skill? Are you reading? Are you looking at seminars? What are you doing? Are you honing, or are you binge watching Netflix? How bad do you want your vision to be realized will determine your action in that particular area. Maybe you want to be married. What are you doing about it? Are you reading marriage materials, listening audios, speaking to married couples to get a little insight as to what happens and how to have a successful marriage? So when Mr. Right comes along, or Mrs. Right comes along in the future, you are prepared to a certain extent. Leadership expert John Maxwell, he put it like this way: when opportunity knocks, it's too late to go and prepare. You have to be ready. See, we people of faith, we sometimes have a faulty notion of how things usually happen. And I must confess, I used to be like that. We sometimes feel like things will just automatically just drop in our laps, you know? And people who are not of the household of faith, they usually say, well, they just need a bit of luck. But the saying by this unknown person, I don't know his name, he said, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity, like in Joseph's case. See, someone might say he was lucky. I will say he was prepared. He didn't tell Pharaoh, you know, give me a month to think about it and I'll get back to you. Or he was ready. The outcome of his story would have been much different if he was unprepared. So what has the Lord placed in your heart? What God has placed in your heart to do? You have to prepare yourself to see that dream materialize, just as Joseph did, and he saw his dream come to pass. His whole family eventually came down to Egypt, just like he saw in his dream, and bowed down themselves to him. So I'll leave you with this one more quote from the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Benjamin Disraeli. He said, the secret of success in life is for a man to be ready when his opportunity comes. Guys, be ready. Live in a state of readiness. I know, discipline ourselves, and it's not a nice word, discipline, but it is effective and it will serve us well. God bless you. Have a great time and have a great day, and I'll see you guys soon.